36 right now. Over the years, CBS12 News I-Team investigator Danielle DeRoss has delivered story after story about Florida's deeply flawed guardianship system.
Yes, we have told you how predatory guardians have stolen millions of dollars from incapacitated seniors and others who are unable to navigate the world on their own. Vulnerable people these guardians have sworn to protect.
In her latest report, Danielle looks at how many wards have lost their homes in these schemes. Danielle?
Well, Matt and Sam, it's something that I have seen time and time again. A guardian is given control of a person's money and assets, then petitions the court to sell their home, telling a judge that money from this sale is needed to pay for the ward's ongoing care. But too often, that's a cover for what some consider stealing that person's home.
There is no making up for what I lost.
3 years ago, we told you about Jan Garwood's guardianship nightmare. A Florida senior, Jan was put under the control of a professional guardian who immediately moved her into a memory care facility. She was there for 3 years until she finally fought her way out of the guardianship. But while she won her freedom back, Jan discovered she had lost almost everything else.
I wanted to go home, and they said, you don't have a home anymore.
Her home was sold not long after she was institutionalized. The guardian never had that property appraised. Jan's house was sold to an employee at the very assisted living facility where her guardian had placed her. Florida Deputy Inspector General Anthony Palmieri investigates misconduct in the state's guardianship system.
Real estate is definitely something that has ticked up for our investigations.
When a guardian is suspected of stealing from a ward or breaking any law, Palmieri's office has the power to investigate and refer a case for criminal prosecution. He calls Jan Garwood's story one of the worst examples of an increasingly common trend. Real estate deals that enrich a whole network of other people, leaving the ward without their most valuable asset.
In my book, that's a problem. You know, the guardianship is to serve the person that needs this intervention and this protection. Anything that's not giving them the fair value is problematic in my book, and I want to look at it.
Palmieri's team recently looked at the case of a former real estate agent turned professional guardian in Seminole County. Investigators from his office looked at 3 home sales that Dina Carlson initiated on behalf of her wards. First was this property in Lake Mary. Carlson hired real estate agents Mark and Kimberly Adams. Mark was the listing agent. Kimberly completed a competitive market analysis instead of getting it appraised. Investigators consider that CMA to be fraudulent because it undervalued the home. This property was never offered to the public, but was sold to a buyer for $215,000. 3 months later, the new owner flipped it for $347,000.
Is it a red flag if you see that the home is sold and then flipped pretty quickly and sold at a much higher price than it was bought for?
It definitely is something that I would take notice of, and I would want to understand the relationship between, if any, between the guardian, the real estate agent, and the subsequent buyers. So I would look at those and connect all the dots to see if there was relationships that were improper or perhaps should have been reported to the court.
2 other concerning real estate sales flagged in Palmieri's report include this ward's home in Apopka near Orlando. Guardian Dina Carlson again used real estate agents Mark and Kimberly Adams. The Adams listed this house for $120,000 and they sold it the same day. But get this, 5 months later, the buyer transferred the title to Mark and Kimberly Adams, making them the new owners. A month after that, the Adams sold the house for $298,000. Then there's this house, Guardian Carlson sold through the Adams family. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths in a desirable Orlando suburb called Winter Springs. It went for just $195,000. The buyer who got such a good deal? Realtor Kimberly Adams' brother. The I-Team reached out to Dina Carlson, Mark Adams, and Kimberly Adams multiple times to explain these deals.
Hi, this message is for Dina Carlson. Hi, this message is for Mark Adams. Trying to reach Kimberly and Mark Adams. My name is Danielle DeRoss, and I'm a reporter at CBS12 News in West Palm Beach.
They never returned our messages.
The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Thank you, and have a great day.
The Inspector General's office believes the trio may have committed multiple crimes, including exploitation of the elderly, grand theft, and scheme to defraud. But somehow, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement declined to pursue criminal charges, saying in an email, quote, no evidence was developed to substantiate a criminal predicate. That was it. The State Office of Public and Professional Guardians did reprimand Dina Carlson, ordering her to take an 8-hour guardian refresher course.
No one is holding anyone accountable.
Hillary Hogue is a victim advocate who served on Florida's Guardianship Improvement Task Force. She says more regulation and oversight must be required before a guardian can sell a ward's home.
Most retirees, their biggest asset is their piece of real estate. The only Jan Garwood, who is basically destitute, and her property was sold for less than half of what it was worth when she was in a fraudulent guardianship.
Now, Danielle, you've told us before, guardians have control over a ward's life, medical decisions, finances, housing, everything. How prevalent are these schemes to steal their homes?
I did ask state inspectors to give me some numbers to verify how prevalent this scheme was. They said they don't have numbers on that right now, but what we can tell you is that this is happening across the state. In fact, we told you a few months ago that the guardianship program of Miami-Dade County is under investigation right now because they were finding so many of these homes that belong to incapacitated people were being sold to one real estate agency over and over again, and then they were flipping the houses for profit. So this is certainly not a series of isolated incidents. We're seeing this happening all over Florida.
Slowly, the tide is maybe beginning to turn a little. That this, this malpractice, what's happening here, is coming more into light. But for the victims, it's coming way too late.
Absolutely, because once the house is gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
They don't have any recourse. So that's really what this is all about, is making sure that people have protection, a roof over their head, and that they're at the very least getting the money that they are owed under this system.
All right, Danielle DeRoss, thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Sam Kerrigan for CBS 12 News. Click the like and subscribe buttons if you want to see more stories like this that impact you.